And then he had to like basically run out of the White House. And I know he's been giving interviews. What has he been saying in them?
Wait, are you talking about Trump, or are you asking what Zelensky's been saying? So Zelensky this morning came after weeks and weeks of Donald Trump being like, "You're a puppet." All right, I'm calling Brace Belden to make sense of the senseless, okay? That's right. The racial Jake, you know him by many different names. I know him as journalist and also sometimes as friend. He didn't like that last part. Brace Belden, ladies and gentlemen.
Merhaba, Hasan.
Came out. Mehmet came out real quick.
Just for the journalists out there, as of course some people here call them journalists out there, I'm visibly Semitic, and so any kind of criticism that you might be thinking during this, you got to squash it now. I've been more times than I can count.
More times than Tony DeCoppel.
You don't think it's? Let me ask you, if I'm wondering, he's the richest man in the world. He's the second most powerful person in the United States, arguably the most powerful. He's got a ton of male sons. I think it's a fair question to ask if those sons are circumcised.
Ooh, interesting.
It's fair. I think it's fair because
the answer is yes.
Oh yeah.
Most likely. Yeah. But Brace, thank you so much for coming on. Now, initially, I wanted to have you on because you are the resident liberal expert on a million different things, but most importantly, of course, Jeffrey Epstein, who is someone who tragically took his own life, as you know, on that fateful evening where the Manhattan Correctional Institute seemingly had its cameras go out for the 7.5 minute process where that deed took place, and the prison guards were also asleep, seemingly, in that 7.5 minutes. It's just a freak accident after freak accident after freak accident, as you know. New York financier Jeffrey Epstein. Now, initially, we were going to talk about that, but something else happened today. And it's something that you're also very knowledgeable on as a liberal journalist. It's the Zelensky stuff.
Volodymyr, he got wronged, Hasan. I mean, can you believe it? It was crazy.
I can.
Me too. But that was, so here's, I don't know. I just got home. So I've not, maybe you've talked about this at length. The JD Vance thing, it's a bit much. No, it's a bit much. Like Trump can do art of the deal.
Yeah.
But you get JD in there, and he's high on getting praise for going to Munich and like talking his shit.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to do a Munich too by being like, and another thing, you gotta say thank you to Donald Trump.
Yeah. That was
crazy.
I mean, this is it. This is, I'm showing it to you as well, what I'm looking at on screen. Have you said thank you once? He's so sick.
I mean, he's so sick.
He's so cool.
You hear that? Usha, have you said thank you?
Yeah. Usha is quaking when she thinks about how much of an alpha dog, but also millennial coded JD Vance is.
I've been wondering, and I've for a long time I thought Huma Abedin was the most beautiful South Asian powerful woman in the world.
I've heard you say this before. I don't disagree with you.
She is watch that Wiener documentary. Pause. That she is looking gorgeous in that. Even Grace Under Fire, I would say that Grace Under Fire. Now she's with this dweeb Alex Soros, he looks like shit. George Soros is better looking.
Whoa! Do not disrespect Alex Soros, right, who I follow on Instagram for many years. This broadcast, thank you, Alex Soros. I'm like, I got to do an NPR hit. You know when they do a Facebook. When they do like a Facebook story, and then they're like, we must tell you that Facebook is a contributor to the broadcast. Alex Soros is a contributor to the broadcast. Very important. Tier 3 subscriber, constantly gifts, a lot of subscriptions. Thank you, Alex.
Alex, if you are watching, you need to open up the relationship and get me in there. You need to open that thing up. I gotta get in there.
Yeah.
I love Huma.
He's just jealous. He wants to be poly with you, Alex.
But I will say, I thought Huma was my number one. I was like, okay, wow. And then Usha comes along, and I'm like, JD, where have you been hiding her? Because she is gorgeous, and he's ugly. Let's be honest. I'm not good looking myself, so I'm not trying to be like, but he's kind of, there's something wrong with him,
Yeah.
Like it's not right. You know what I'm saying? It's not right. And I think that Usha, whatever the situation is, if you need to be freed or whatever, if you want to come with Huma, I can get you. But he should send this to her every time that she's mad at him for like working late.
I think JD wanted to be closer to being a South Asian man, and that's why he wears more eyeliner than a Pashtun Taliban member.
Yeah, he does look like he is Trump's Bakabazi. He's his dancing boy, and it's horrible.
Well, he was Peter Thiel. That's what he did for Peter Thiel. So
I know it's great. He does. He's got like the second in command, like the lieutenant thing going on. But I think that what he did, Zelensky and I have had our differences. But what I think he did was unconscionable.
Such a funny thing to say. Sorry.
We have difference. I would have, done things, but I felt a twinge of pity for Zelensky, and I've vacillated because I felt pity for Zelensky when he first got in, because he was, he looked like he was going to be the peacemaker. I do think he tried. I think that nothing really could have. He was kind of getting it from both sides on that.
Oh yeah.
There was no way that was going to happen. And he kind of came into his own, but the reality is, I don't really know what the argument is against what Trump's saying, because like they don't have any cards. Ukraine is losing the war. They've been losing the war for a while. And it's sort of hard to like, there hasn't been, especially from like all the Europeans who like really have stuck their necks out on this, or I don't know, stuck their necks out is the word, but like have, the Europeans have stuck with Zelensky for the most part. And
my favorite, not to cut you off, but my favorite was when Keir Starmer, also known as Keir Stalin, came out and was like, "Oh, we're gonna send our short-swearing, 14,000 strong special forces into Ukraine," and then very quickly, almost immediately after he said that, but without American security cooperation assurances, this will be meaningless. That was the extent. Like even Macron, the Jupiterian figure, the real lord of Europe, even he has had like he's been positively Polish in the way that he has talked about Ukraine. He behaves like he's a part of the Polish parliament or something, where he's always like, we're gonna send the most military troops to Ukraine, and he's been saying it for months, like way before Keir Starmer ever came out and said things like that. So I don't know. I just don't see that being a real alternative if there is no more American security assurances coming down the line.
Yeah, I mean, what I thought was going to happen was that there was going to be some kind of like weird up deal with the DMZ that's like manned by, whatever Russian and allied troops on one side, and or a weird security agreement with like French troops or British troops there. Now, I'm not really so sure, because the thing is, like, the U.S. kind of, with Nord Stream and with a lot of pressure on the Germans, like, have really altered Europe's economy in a major way in the past 4 years. And this is just like a complete reversal. I mean, I honestly, today has been a crazy one, because I assumed there would be some hard bargaining, some tough words, and maybe some tough love, but they just like they shunged him, and then he had to like basically run out of the White House. And I know he's been giving interviews. What has he been saying in them?
Wait, are you talking about Trump, or are you asking what Zelensky's been saying? So Zelensky this morning came after weeks and weeks of Donald Trump being like, "You're a puppet. Your comedy ain't shit. Your bitch ain't bad. You're a dictator. Yeah. You're woke and trans and DEI, or worse than all of those slurs in the Republican side of the conversation. He said you're a Democrat, right? Which is a liberal, you know, it's like the worst thing you can be. So he kept saying all that, but then Zelensky, of course, after Donald Trump met with all the European leaders and Modi, turned around and came to sign this mineral deal that he initially said he wasn't going to sign. The same mineral deal, from what I understand, the Biden administration was trying to get him to sign to begin with, but more quietly, and because, you know, they're just that good at doing foreign policy.
A real player moves in silence.
Exactly. And he was ready to sign this deal, but I think in the process, like, JD Vance goaded him. Like, I mean, he just sat there and had to take, like, Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend, the really drunk looking guy who just looks like he has insanely high blood pressure. You know what I'm talking about? From OAN. I think he's on Newsmax or OAN, whatever his name is. But he was like, why don't you wear a suit ever? Which is a question that's on everyone's mind, certainly, but like time and place, right? And he had to basically sit there and eat it from not just like the peanut gallery, but from a guy who is a commentator on Right Side Broadcasting Network. It's like having an Epoch Times guy shit on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I love that. I've encountered them many times. That they're like I don't even know if they're a news network. Aren't they just like a live stream thing? That's
yeah.
That's
it's
tough.
like me being in the room for Joe Biden.
Yeah, I will say that the Republicans always fixate on Zelensky wearing a suit, and the reality is Zelensky is diminutive, right? Like, he's short. He's like 5'2". Lily Putin, well, the guys from Gulliver's. The little men. And if you wear a suit and you're short, you really run the risk of looking like a child. And so I actually understand the choice not to do that. I think it's a tough one, and I think he made the right one in wearing his little uniformy kind of thing.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen. You know, I mean, that's the thing is a lot's gone down in the past couple months that it has given me a bit of a raised eyebrow, and I was expecting this to like end in some crazy up mineral deal that Ukraine signs, and we get like all their rare earth minerals, which I wasn't even aware that they really had that many.
Yeah.
And I mean, who knows?
I don't. The only thing I've seen is like some USSR mineral maps that they've had that they've retained seemingly.
Amazing. But now it looks like Zelensky left the White House in a huff, or was unceremoniously kicked out.
No, he was kicked out.
And so, dude, you don't want to get kicked out of the White House.
No.
That's tough.
No, you don't. So the question remains for me is, and there's a lot of people who are very mad at me because I said, what did I, hold on, let me see if I can find this and pull up this tweet. But a lot of liberals are always mad at me about
Russia
Ukraine.
Wins the war. Sorry, what did you say?
That's okay. That was in private that I told you. Okay. And you agreed and you were like, yes, Russia is based. I didn't know which one
you were talking about.
Yeah. You were like, Russia is based. We are saddened by the tactical retreat that the brave Russian soldiers had to make. They needed that warm water port in Syria, you know. Anyway, but yeah, I said there's literally nothing Zelensky can do that will stop Trump and his admin from humiliating him. Obviously, our proxies are always powerless in these circumstances, but the decorum is totally broken. No care for diplomacy, the end of American soft power. And I think that's what's going on in general with like, you know, gutting the U.S. aid and basically, or trying to centralize it under the State Department as though they were like acting as a cutout for like Democratic Party NGOs or something. I think they like greatly misunderstand what U.S. aid was doing.
Yes, I agree with that.
And also simultaneously, I think like they're just moving in the direction of no more carrot, just stick, except for Israel, obviously. But Israel is more so an extension of the United States, so we don't talk about that as different. But this person calling Ukraine a proxy is insane, dude. So what do you think about all of this with your understanding of the situation?
I think from what I can gather, I mean, I don't really know how many cards Ukraine has without the U.S. to sort of paraphrase Trump there. I mean, there is a real question of like what the they're going to do if America cuts off arms, because the European arms industry is not caught up yet. That's like a decades long fucking thing they got to do. And yeah, the reality is like they function in this sense as a proxy. I don't think that's really that controversial of a thing to say. I mean, it's not even like a moral judgment or anything like that. Like they're fighting this war with like American support, targeting troops on the ground, some reported, some not. Huge amounts, hundreds of billions of dollars. And yes, a lot of that money is spent on US weapons, which is a racket. But I don't really know how else to read that. I mean, they could not win this war, or this war would almost certainly be over in some way or another if the US had not gotten involved to the extent that it did. I mean, it seems I wasn't even aware that was really a controversial thing to say outside of like, Ukrainian nationalist circles or anything like that.
No, liberals outflank Ukrainian nationals in many respects on this issue. So especially because like they don't really lose anything in terms of just, throwing up the flag. But I don't know. Maybe this is just a misunderstanding. But the reason why I brought this up is not to like go over petty grievances with like the account called Polling USA. The reason why I brought it up is because I want you to speculate on like what you think Zelensky has in his pocket. Like what, because I did genuinely think that he would play ball and maybe even grovel further on Brett Baer. And earlier, and I know you were watching this as well, he did not do that. Brett Baer actually baited him multiple times to be like, well, you're not actually, doing that. You're not actually apologizing to Donald Trump. And he instead delivered what I consider to be a relatively heartfelt and somewhat sincere plea to the American population, and specifically Donald Trump's base of support. And I don't know why he thought that. Is it foolishness? Does he think that like Americans give a shit? Does he think that like MAGA can listen to reason? Does he know something that we don't know? Or is Macron actually going to use nuclear first strike capabilities against Russia if Russia further undermines Ukrainian sovereignty? Like, what does he know?
I mean, it's funny. If he thinks that like he'll sway a majority of the MAGA movement or even like a significant minority, I think he is out of his fucking mind because they hate his ass.
They do. I mean, they're like, he's gay. He's doing trans stuff in Ukraine.
Like that's they don't even like. I think it's hard maybe for like a non-American to understand like how a lot of MAGA types kind of like they have like shibboleths or like images that they just like have these insane sort of like mythos or stories around, and like Zelensky is absolutely one of the main ones. I mean, it's like he's this he's sort of like the, I guess, like what when people think of like wasteful foreign aid or like Democrats stealing money or like Hunter Biden or anything like that, when MAGA people think of that stuff, it kind of all comes down and funnels down to Zelensky himself.
Yeah.
And he is not a sympathetic figure to a lot of Republicans, maybe some like GOP conservative types. And it's so funny because like
Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, exactly. But Lindsey Graham flipped.
Yeah, and he dropped him. He dropped him like a bad habit after basically goading him for years and years and being like, it's great that all Ukrainians are dying they're dying using our older weaponry that we shipped over there.
Yes. I mean, and boy, it's just whatever. Maybe Zelensky, if you have the tapes of Lindsey Graham and 16-year-old boys in Northern Virginia hotel rooms, to release them now. I do think that what you said earlier about like soft power sort of like going out the window. I think that's like I think it's like kind of true about like everything about the new Trump regime is that in that like a lot of what they're doing, like the sort of looting or like the cutting away the regulations with doggy and all of the like foreign policy sort of like tough guy shit. It really is just like a way of doing what the U.S. has done for a long time without any of the niceties and without any of the bullshit, like Trump's kind of getting down to business here in a way that would like take other administrations maybe like 5-10 years to do, because they'd have to funnel this through this and this through this and get this guy elected and do this.
Yeah, but I think there's like a purpose for that, right? Like that's the reason why you have to manufacture. You have to do that to like try and maintain this idea around the world that America is like sometimes doing bad things, but like they're doing it for a greater good because America is the world police. And And I think Israel accelerated the lie right after Ukraine, because like Israel and Ukraine happening so close to one another, like really showed the moral depravity to even people in Western Europe that were previously, in my opinion, oblivious to it or strategically ambiguous to it.
Yes.
And now it's obvious that like nobody gives a shit about the international rule-based order. That's not a real thing. But having said that, I still didn't think Trump would dismantle that soft power apparatus so quickly.
Yeah, it's funny because for a sec I was like, maybe they'll use it like how, for instance, like Germany, they give money to political parties and they have these overseas offices. And so like AFD, for instance, like has offices in other countries. I think they do, but like the Conservative Party, the Social Democrats do. And I was like, okay, well, maybe they'll use this in like a based way and they'll just like give their like support or like use soft power as like muscle behind whatever, Orban like candidate they can find anywhere. But I mean, again, it's been like a month and a half. So who knows? 2 months. No, like a month actually. But that could still happen. It seems like, I don't know. Everything's still so in the fucking air right now with all like the cuts and like the fake cuts and the like moving shit around to state that like I actually have no idea. There's so much confusion that like I have no idea what they'll retain. And like it could be that they're doing the doggy thing of like strip it all away and then like put some back that you think you actually turns out that you need, and that could come in there. It's funny though because like again to come back to this, like Ukraine would be like cause celeb or whatever among Republicans 30 years ago, 40 years ago, I mean, we would have like, Azov guys would be like giving speeches at Congress. And although they have visited Congress, it's been under the aegis of the liberals. And so it's so funny to see all this shit. I mean, that's talk about a realignment, it's sort of amazing. And it's funny because I think a lot of Democrats kind of lean into it because now it's almost seen as like an act of resistance against the nationalist GOP to just be, doing as much foreign entanglement as possible. And, part of this also could just be like pivot to China stuff, but and then that's all in confusion now too. So I have no idea.
Well, that's what I think, like the Vivek Ramaswamy foreign policy method that Tucker Carlson and like a select few Redditors were talking about before the Trump administration of decoupling Russia from China and then focusing all of our efforts on going to war with China is seemingly what this administration is moving in the direction of, it seems like. But I'm not saying that this will be successful. I just think that is kind of the direction that they're taking, it seems.
Yeah, that occurred to me as well because like, the Russia-China maximum friendship thing that they're doing. I could see that, but I just don't really see that really working. And also like these people are so fucking crazy and stupid that like sometimes I feel like I try to like ascribe them motivations or plans that like aren't actually there because I'm like, well, if I was doing this would be the reason I would be doing it because I'm like, a little canny or whatever. But like a lot of the times I think it's like purely like I don't know what Trump is talking about half the fucking time.
Yeah.
I think he tries to do like a hard negotiating shit. Like I think sending Vance to Europe was part of that. I think some of the shit he was saying to Zelensky was part of that. But then also like, he's a fickle individual. And so he could have gotten genuinely offended earlier. It's weird because like, I mean, listen, again, me and Zelensky had a long, big falling out recently within the past few years.
Okay.
I don't think he was being that disrespectful.
He wasn't.
And so like,
no, he wasn't.
I'm like, he's ESL. What Zelensky should have done.
To be fair, we're both libs in this new administration.
We are both, and that's the thing is we are liberal.
We are liberals. We do like the Democratic Party, and I think that Andrew Cuomo's great, and he's gonna hopefully get a leadership role. Yeah.
I know. A lot of people have been calling me liberal Hitler lately, which I don't is not a title I accept. It's just what they call me. Cuomo is coming for my crown. And let me tell you, just one look at that. You know, you can look at a guy sometimes and be like, there's more allegations out there. I know it. Happens, frankly, in your industry. You probably have to do that. You see that all the time.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah. One of my favorite liberals recently got taken out. I don't know if you know him. His name is Destiny. You know, I was very sad. As a liberal, I was very sad. I still defend him, of course, vociferously because
my God, he is, and it's a shame too because that body being out of circulation now. I mean, okay, well, there goes my experiments with bisexuality. Guess I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, Cuomo. What? Oh no, liberal JD Vance, Ukraine. Duh, we love you. We
liberal
love
Hitler,
except for liberal Hitler. I'm gonna tell you right now. I think that JD Vance is a loose cannon, and they gotta lock his ass in the basement and give Usha to me. But I think that I don't know. I think that they're just going crazy. I mean, what they're doing is they're just really trying to I'm trying to how to figure out how to phrase this because I thought about this a lot earlier, but it's almost like they're just reorienting like their policy on this like lean tech line where it's like you can just do whatever you want and like you can break this rule and that rule and this rule and that rule. And it does sort of like seem like it jibes with a lot of kind of what's going on globally. Remember fucking Syria fell in like a week?
Yeah.
It feels like all institutions are basically the Assad government right now. Like the entire everything's the Ba'ath Party and like can fall apart with like one blitzkrieg strike from a crazy guy.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there was the GOAT who was really playing all sides behind closed doors on that one. He was.
And did you see that? You see that they trotted out Öcalan today?
Yeah.
Or yesterday?
Yeah.
But.
That's your homie. Like, that's Big Dog. What's happening?
I mean, he was and the statement, frankly, is nonsense. And I talked to a lot of people, and everyone's like, I think everyone's just ignoring it. Like, he doesn't really have like, I mean, he's been out of the picture for like 35 years now.
Yeah.
In terms of like strategic orientation.
You're saying he's got no motion?
I don't know. I don't think he's got a lot of motion. And
I think he's trying to. I think Erdogan. This is my wee woo speculation alert. Okay,
all good.
And I don't know, but I think that they're perhaps maybe a little worried about like a Israel style Kurdistan approach that might happen in this like very new territory that we're approaching with Middle Eastern politics. So instead, they want to get ahead of that by being like, see, this guy that we imprisoned for 35 years, he'll be the leader of the autonomous region that we design. And it'll be like a regional actor that is beholden to us, the Turkish government, rather than like an Israel-style ethno-state, which I don't even know if I would ever, I don't know if they could do that.
I mean, the Syrian Kurds came out yesterday and were like, actually, what he said doesn't apply to us, so we're not doing that. But I don't know. It got a rather muted response from people I talked to who know a lot more than me or a lot more connected than me. They were just like, yeah, I don't know. He's fucking like old as fuck now and he hasn't really been on the scene for a number of years. But Erdogan is I got to tell you, was not expecting it, but he's had a hell of a year. Every year or two, I'm like, something's going to happen to him. He's going to get kicked out. He's going to get killed. He's going to get, he's going to lose an election. But no, the guy keeps coming up on top.
Dude, he's always.
I don't like
look at how much he fucked over Putin with Syria. That was insane. He has like nuclear. Putin's on the one side selling him missile defense systems. Okay, big drama. All of a sudden, they're kicked out of the fucking F-35 program because we can't have the missile systems and the same fucking. And NATO planes on the same grid, I guess, except unless you're fucking Greece, then it's allowed. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. They're Christian. So I guess like it's okay if they have it. And then all of a sudden, he's working alongside, he's working with China too now. That part I do actually like. I think that's awesome. As you know, I mean, you're the leading advocate for the white Chinese movement. I have been
am
a
white
follower.
Chinese. You know
I have
what?
been
The
a follower
dragon
since day
rises.
one.
Well, you're not really white, are you?
Well, I am quite literally white Chinese because my mother's maiden name is Uyghur.
No.
Yeah, my Jenk, my uncle. What's his last name?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jank Uyghur. That's not how I was pronouncing that.
Yeah, Uyghur is how you're supposed to say it, but it's fine. So technically, I am literally white Chinese. So
well, I mean, it's the white. It's not really the Chinese part that I was. Are you BIPOC? I thought you were BIPOC.
Yeah,
because are Turks white? This is a question I should just be asking on Twitter.
It depends. If you're in Germany, no, hell no. But I think in America, like they don't know enough, so they just go, "Oh, he's like spicy white. He's like, what is he, Italian?" That's what I think. That's the way they treat it.
That is true. Nobody know. I mean, and also like, I mean, I know we talked about this before, but Greeks and Turks, I can't tell the difference. You know?
Oh, I agree exactly. No,
The
I say that all the
whole
time.
thing is
Armenians too.
Oh yeah, but all the Aryans, the Caucasus types, I'm like, you guys, it's just one big eyebrow, you know, and I love it, but it is what
No,
it is.
I agree.
And I say this is somebody with very thin eyebrows, and so you know, it comes from a place of racial jealousy, frankly.
Yeah.
I think everything's. I'm like wondering who's going to try. You mentioned Macron earlier, and it really does seem like Macron was kind of meant to be, or like thinks he's meant to be, like this other sort of like the leader of a multipolar Europe in a multipolar world. But
he's a pan-European nationalist.
He really is.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's going to shake out for the guy.
Oh my God. I just imagine. Okay. Pan-European nationalist. He wears like a what's it called? A kufi, like the kente cloth, but with like NATO colors or EU colors.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Dude, we have to combine.
Oh my God. Yeah, pan-Euro nationalist Macron is hilarious.
Just steal everything from the Pan-African movement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God. Oh, I mean, they
wouldn't be the fucking first time the French stole from the Africans. You know?
Not. Oh my God. And Macron, I think he's his. Have you been following the transvestigation into his wife?
Oh, Candace Owens, yeah, she's been doing formative work on this field when she's not talking about how Jews are controlling the media and
her anti-Semitism is. I know, and it's tough because I feel like I'm talking to. I don't know enough about sports to make an analogy here. I feel like I'm talking to Mussolini and gassing up Hitler here because she is really her anti-Semitism. I'm sorry, you were never a fucking contender, brother.
Yeah, it's really
her
fucked up.
Anti-Semitism. She was Khazar theory. She's talking about the Frankists. Like these are shit that like you have to read a book to know about.
Yeah. No, it's like when you get nerdy with it. When you get nerdy with the theories, like that's my favorite thing about anti-Semites, and there's so much to like about them.
About them.
But my favorite thing about anti-Semites is when they like read the Talmud, or at least like they even lie to read about it or whatever. When it's like, I don't even think like outside of rabbinical school, Jews are out there fucking reading the Talmud.
Well, no, necessarily. I don't think so. No, we're mostly checking the Schwab accounts. But he, the thing is, Candace got to do this transvestigation of Brigitte Macron, who, by the way, let's be real, she is a phebophile. Because there's many rumors, I don't know if you've heard this, that her husband is a little light in the loafers, that he might be a gay man.
Oh, Candace's husband. Yeah, I've listened to him talk, and I don't know if it's because he's just effete because he's British or because he's secretly gay.
It is tough because they sort of straddle that line. But he, it's. I'm like, I feel like you're trying to like put us. I think she's beautiful though, like in a real way. I do.
I agree. I think she is very. I hate to admit it, but I do think Candace Owens is attractive for sure.
Who's the best looking one of the guys that they have?
Oh, that's a tough one. There is not really.
I could never to answer that.
No, yeah, they're all so hot.
I know it's pizza.
Like I think Ben Shapiro's the most manicured out of all of them. Like he like paints his eyebrows and stuff. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. Yeah, he is though. I could see having. How do I say this? I could see us hooking up in another life. You know what I'm
After
saying?
music school,
Like just fuck it.
you
Like
see
I
him
could
playing
see
the
him.
violin, and you're like, wow, you're
Yeah.
making beautiful art. Let's make beautiful art together with our bodies.
Like I feel like. Oh, actually, I've never seen the movie, but I feel like I could have a "Call Me by Your Name" thing with Ben Shapiro if in another life.
I have never seen the movie either, but I think
Me
it's
either. But I get it's about.
so there's okay. So inappropriate age gap relationship with Ben Shapiro.
Yeah. I feel like I'd have to be the older one because he's so little. But him and who else is it even is that Jack Pasobi? Horrible. Met him. He's horrible.
Oh, I know.
Oh, and he stunk.
Mike Cernovich too. Oh, he did.
Cernovich is he smelled. Pasobiec smelled when I met him.
Wait, let me ask you this question about Jack Pasobiec, who once famously, here's some lore for you, spent his entire wedding tweeting about me while he was getting married. He also was tweeting about me because I clowned on him while I was live. Because I think it was at the time when like Papa John's was being falsely smeared as a racist for for saying the N-word a bunch of times. And so if I recall correctly, Jack Pasobiec, former naval intelligence officer Jack Pasobiec, purchased and exclusively had Papa John's pizza for catering for his wedding. And then when I joked about it, he spent the rest of his wedding tweeting at me.
Could you imagine like having to be? Thank God there's no like all the left wing products are like horrible like safety pin boxes or like asthma inhalers or something like that. Like I couldn't. There's no equivalent I could even do with that. But it's to be on the right, you have to buy so many shitty fucking like white labeled products in order to support your friends. It must suck. Pasobiec is not good looking. He's got the face of an alcoholic, which might be anti-Polish racism for me, but there's something there where it's like you can tell he wants to droop, and you know he gets like, you know, injections or whatever. He's out. Charlie Kirk looks too fucked up. If you think that he's good looking, I think Brace,
the truth is right in front of us all along.
It's JD fucking Vance.
I think JD Vance might be the hottest to do it.
Dude, he might be. Because he's young.
Oh, no. Chat gave me the answer. It's Tom Fitton. It's always Tom Fitton.
It's Tom Fitton.
Yeah.
It's Tom Fitton.
It's Tom Fitton.
Tom Fitton. And with the land, I'd like to have him Tom Fitton me for a goddamn wedding ring because
Tom never fitting in his clothes. Tom Fitton.
Tom never fitting in his clothes. And it's funny that they had to invent a new like kind of right wing guy, like the based like whatever the new alt-right thing is, the dissident right, so that they could have like a new like grooming crop to like come and you know spend a couple minutes on the Manhattan Institute casting couch. It's disgusting. These people and everything is so fucking low class and disgusting right now. It makes me sick. Marco Rubio also.
What, you think Marco Rubio's hot?
Yeah, because he kind of have you seen the movie The Pest?
No, but
kind of looks like John Leguizamo in The Pest.
I don't know why Marco Rubio is such a fucking beta. And he's got such ginormous ears that I will just never find him attractive. I can't see that. Tom Fitton, on the other hand, hot.
Yeah.
Like, look at those ears, man. He's got Daniel Hagari ears.
But wouldn't it feel good? I mean, not to like hook up, but like, wouldn't it feel good to cuddle with Rubio? Like hold him?
I feel like he's too sweaty. Trump killed him for me. Trump destroyed him. I mean, like Trump destroyed his sex appeal for me.
Could you imagine being Marco Rubio and going home to your wife? Is he married? Let's look this up. Obviously, there's many rumors about him, which we won't address here, but which your listeners, if they actually, you can probably look this up. It's safe for work. Marco Rubio foam party.
What?
You never heard about that? There's like a long-standing rumor that he was photographed at a foam party, which is also how I heard about foam parties from that. It is a party where you go and you are in a lot of foam with people.
Wait, what the hell? Are these photos of Marco Rubio at a gay Miami foam party? Queerty on X.
From Queerty too, so it's fucking, that's, I think, pro-gay.
But you can't even tell, like, which one is it?
It's like the back of one guy's head.
Yeah, how would you be able to tell? I mean, his ears are...
But you know, that's
him.
Right there. That's him, dude. That's Marco Rubio. That's Marco Rubio. Am I there?
Yeah.
But I don't mean that. I'm saying stop. Let's look into this further. I think that there's something here.
Yeah. It
And
seems
I
like
think
you
that
said
I'm
pause.
not saying. No. I said pause. Let's pause. Let's pause this baseless speculation and get to the bottom of this. Is what I'm saying. I just we gotta see what's going on here. Is there another angle, perhaps?
Yeah. No, I respect that. That's the mark of a true journalist, wanting to investigate further.
Is there another? Well, people know, and I've talked about it before. I'm the number one investigator of Elon Musk's penis in the world, and so why can't I see fucking Marco Rubio's front picture? Just let me show me the front at the phone party.
Yeah, I feel that. What is this? In his memoir, Rubio recounts the relationship with his wife Jeanette and how she once threatened to break up with him if he went to a foam party. He went anyway, but had an epiphany in the foam. As I contemplated my predicament, I looked down at my shoes. They were perfectly white. They had been black when I arrived. Maybe because I took it as a sign the life I was leading was phony and unsustainable. Oh my God, he's talking about being gay. And I had suddenly found myself wearing white shoes, a South Beach fashion faux pas. I left the club and found the nearest payphone.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Your wife is like, don't go to the foam party. And you're like, I'm going to the foam party. Leave me alone. I'm going to the foam party. Crazy, dude.
He just loves he's a foamer.
Could you imagine if the woman you loved was like, don't go to the foam party? And you're like, fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah,
I'm going to the foam party.
Yeah.
Never
You know
happened.
what would happen in that situation? Okay. She would no longer be the woman that I love. Okay. She needs to understand that I'm going to foam. I'm going to foam with the fucking boys. Okay.
Do they have you ever encountered this in your life? I've never even heard of one of these.
I think like they used to throw, I feel like I went to like a rave or something maybe with foam, like way back in the day.
Yeah.
It could have been like 4th of July weekend at in Las Vegas or something though. I can't recall.
That seems like that kind of thing there. I'm just like, I feel like now with cell phones, it'd be tough.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, getting back on track, we sidestepped here about which conservative figures are the most fuckable. And I guess like the last thing I want to ask you about Zelensky, I was about to call him Zel Disney again. And after today, it's no longer Zel Disney. He took a strong stance on Brett Baer. And he basically said, no, I am not going to apologize. That's what he said.
I know. The voice is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
We love the voice.
Sick. Yeah. He was behaving in a very based, quote unquote, based manner. But I guess the question that I have is, what the fuck does he have that he knows that, like, does he truly think that European allegiances without American security assurances will defend Ukraine, will be enough to defend Ukraine, even when they're genuinely going through a manpower problem?
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, no, I think that Ukraine kind of hit on like a sort of smart thing to do, which was just terror. And they've been sort of employing that for like the past year, but like, I don't mean like terror. Well, I do actually, but they've been employing that for like the past, more than a year, like 2 or 3 years. I would have predicted that it would go like more in that direction once the land war gets a little more, I mean, it's been pretty static for a little while now, but like once lines are like really entrenched, but I have no idea. I mean, we're getting to spring. Who knows if the Russians are going to rock again in spring and take a bunch of territory. I have a feeling that he will probably take whatever deal and then get assassinated by somebody. But he is not long, I think, for the presidency of Ukraine. But me saying that, by the way, to anyone listening, I cannot make predictions, and Hasan is making me do this. And everything I would say right now, the opposite is going to be true.
Me too. Famously, I also said Russia will never invade Ukraine.
And thank God you said that, because that made me reassess a lot of my life. I'm like, how was I wrong? And then I realized I was wrong just because my heuristic of disbelieving the State Department 100% of the time, I need to just do it 99.99% of the time.
Yeah.
But
no, we went through everyone went through that exact same. Everyone went through that exact same situation, especially because like Ukrainians on the ground were like, they're not going to invade. What the fuck are you talking about? Zelensky was like, no, it's not going to happen.
and I believe Zelensky. I feel, and now I'm back to pity Zelensky, because I feel bad for the guy. But I think that I have no idea. I have no idea, brother. It's who fucking knows? Because like, anyway, and the reality is like, yeah, they have like equipment shortages, but like they do have equipment. The only problem is like, first of all, they don't have air in any appreciable way. And who knows what the fuck is going to happen to their air now if we're going to cut off aid, because like we've given them planes, but like, aren't we still training the pilots?
Yeah. In Poland
and
too, which
yeah.
yeah.
And there's just like, there's a very real thing of like running out of shells and shit like that. I mean, I haven't been following that part of it as closely, but like, you know, Zelensky, I think we all remember, got kind of mad
literally,
when
yeah, he went to Scranton, Pennsylvania alongside Joe Biden, which is another reason why Trump fucking hates him. Because he was like, oh, you were doing like election interference. Like,
yes, yeah,
I truly believe, to a certain degree, I think that the Republican Party, or at least like the Trump contingency, thinks that like Ukraine is libtard shit.
Yes.
Like, I think they're just truly like, no, if you like Ukraine, you're a liberal. Like, you're a libtard.
Yeah, yeah, and it sucks because like the reality is like a bunch of people have died there. A bunch of people, probably more, are gonna die there. I do think it's funny. Trump always says this shit. He's like, way more people have died than we have been reported, which I do think is true. But he also always is like, when one of those buildings goes down, like he doesn't understand people get evacuated from buildings, and so he thinks it's full of like people at like Trump Tower or whatever.
Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, I have no idea. I think a lot of it really depends on just like what the fuck the negotiations with the Russians turn out to be. And God knows what they're talking about in there. I mean, can you believe it? You know, like I have no fucking clue like what they're offering or what like. I mean, they're if the U.S. is doing anything, it's gonna stab its ally. I mean, there's the famous meme of like Osama bin Laden and fucking like Noriega and everybody like reaching out to Zelensky.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my brother, I think this might be the time. I think America's about to stab your ass in the back.
Oh yeah.
Back.
I don't understand how people at this. I mean, I guess like I get why liberals don't get that. They're conditioned to not believe that. Especially with Ukraine, they were like, well, Ukraine is on the right side because they're invaded, you know, by a larger power. So they were like, oh, come on, let us have this one. Like, for once, we're on the right side of history. You know what I mean? Like, it was a situation like that. But yeah, I mean, this was an inevitability, I think.
Yeah, it really was. And they try to do our boy Netanyahu like that too. You know what? They try to do that color revolution on Netanyahu, and he weaseled out of it. But yeah, I
that's why he's the GOAT.
But they really do have genuine manpower issues. And like, I'm not a scholar or anything. I'm not even a pundit or anything. I just, my view of whoever's going to win a war is like, if you're like relative parity with technology, which they're not, by the way, because Russia has better air. It's the country with the more guys. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that is the major problem. And I don't know how you can overcome that. And I think, I do know how you can overcome that. You just make France and Germany and every other country, Poland, forcibly send back every Ukrainian able-bodied man. And immediately, as soon as they step foot, they get handed a rifle and go into training, or at least get, not handed a rifle, but go into training immediately, like forcibly conscripted. But even in that process, like you said, they have a significant shortage of artillery, so much so that America has had to restart manufacturing or increase manufacturing of artillery shells. And they were, before then, and still, I think to this day, we're getting it from South Korea, which, of course, Russia was getting it from the Democratic People's Republic, which we haven't really mentioned in this conversation, but they're at the table. I feel there's a saying amongst Turks, like we always say, oh, we are at the table, or sometimes we'll say we are the table. It's like a very common Turkish trope. We love being involved in like international incidents. And I feel like, you know who else is at the table? The DPRK.
The DPRK is, and God bless him for it. I was a doubter because I'm like, show me the troops. But they seemingly exist, and must be. I don't know if that would really be my first choice of assignment, to go from North Korea to Ukraine, because I'm like, God, so the world is just kind of soggy. But it's like send me to Morocco or something. But
Yeah.
but it's just yeah, God knows. I think what Ukraine should do is invade Poland, and then just you have way more people if you take it over.
Yeah. That's it. That's interesting. Yeah, that's
Trigger Article
never
5.
been tried before.
I think what they need to do is trigger Article 5 and get U.S. boots on the ground there. I mean,
Yeah.
if this could end NATO, which is so fucking funny. Like,
that's
if
the
Trump
thing I don't
pulls us out
understand.
of NATO,
Because that's why I was like, that's never going to happen. Because like Trump, obviously, regardless of how much he like talks about stuff, like what did he do for NATO? He said he was going to disband NATO, but he wasn't ever going to disband NATO. What did he do? He forced European allies to buy more American weapons. Like a higher percentage of their GDP must be spent on American weapons. That's what he did, which initially was an Obama era contract. Regardless, Trump just enforced it, right? And because it was so good that Biden seemingly never overturned it, right? So operating, I didn't think that Donald Trump would single-handedly undermine this protection racket because it's still beneficial for his benefactors. But it does seem like he's so fucking petty that he might do that.
I mean, it's just it's strange to me. I mean, maybe it's just like really, I don't know. Ukraine, you need to go join Belt and Road. You need to rebuild with China. I'm telling you. You were cast out by the Americans. Go to Beijing.
That's what I've been saying
right now. Go to Beijing and be like, let's talk. Because they're very, those people, they know how to do things.
Dude, that's literally what I've been saying. I've been saying that like Zelensky was talking on Fox News, like he dialed up Xi beforehand, before he went on Brett Baer, and it was like, it's okay, do it.
Do it. Yes,
yeah.
Do it.
He's like, fire when ready. Fire when ready.
Yes. I mean, my God. They should just, you know what? I mean, my thing has always been they should just have a third party enter the conflict and just see what happens. Maybe Turkey. I think Turkey should just go north.
That's the other thing I was thinking as well.
Across the Black Sea. Turkey should invade both Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah.
And get them in there. And because we need a line to Poland. Or no, excuse me, to Finland, because we need a Turkish corridor to connect the peoples.
Yeah, they are Turkic. You are right. That's yeah. This is the one Turan theory that it extends all the way there from Xinjiang all the way to Finland, and of course Crimea obviously does not belong to Russia, nor does it belong to Ukraine. It belongs to the Turks. It is supposed to be the protectorate of the It is supposed to be the Tatars, who are also of Turkic descent. So I am fully in agreement with that.
It's strange that Turkey is supposed to be this like world-spanning great power, but like I feel like the primary mode of transportation in your native home is the donkey.
Or at least you didn't say camel.
A camel, no, yeah, that would blow a Turk's mind. A camel? No, you guys can't afford the hump. It's a donkey.
Well, you're talking a big game because you're not allowed in the country. Well, I guess I'm not allowed in the country either, but you're extra not allowed in the country. At least I can go back if Erdogan's gone.
And it's interesting, that this country, which supposedly is so great, has put one of the world's most greatest entrepreneurs, myself, on the so-called terror list. First of all, I've never terrorized anybody except except those who are cruel or rude to women. But it's like terror list. Look at me. I wouldn't hurt a fly.
Okay.
But they called me a terrorist in Erdogan's newspaper.
Yeah. Well, he owns all the newspapers technically, so it's not.
Yeah, well, that's not who you told me owns all the newspapers.
Yeah, no, Erdogan is also Jewish.
That's the thing I love most about the Middle East is like the baseline conspiracy theory about every single leader is that actually he's Jewish. Like, yeah, his like great grandmother's Jewish, and so it's been passed down. He's Jewish.
Yeah, all the anti-Kemalists, like the Islamists, and they all say like Atatürk is Jewish or he's a British agent. which is a substitute for Jew.
Yeah, substitute for Jew. Yeah. It is so funny that Ataturk being Jewish. It's like, all right, well, I don't think so. The Fez banning though, did greatly I think that Turkey's image would improve in the world if they brought back. Maybe Ukrainians should start a hat wear, like a lids,
dude,
or something.
Dude, I mean, you're not wrong. Look at countries that are on the up and up, or I guess like autonomous regions that are on the up and up. Dagestan. What is Dagestan known for? Fighters that wear the coolest hats.
I mean, they're also known for the little boy.
Wait, what do you mean? Like being
Hezbollah?
Oh, wait, is Hezbollah from Dagestan?
I thought he was. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. I think he is. The little boy. Why would you? He's right behind me.
So hard for Hasan not to salute when he hears the word Hezbollah.
Stop.
The different one.
Stop. You got me excited when you said Hezbollah.
But
dude,
yeah,
you're joking, but I'm gonna have like, you know, another Fox News article written about me, and then Ethan Klein crash out incoming, being like, he loves Hasan Nasrallah. They have the same name. Are they the same person?
Yeah, I love that. I will never forgive you for I'm 35. You know, I never looked at YouTube that much or anything like that. Now I have to find out who this guy is. It has been a horrible. This is the same thing with Destiny and stuff. What is with this industry you work in? It's full of just some of the most strangest, malformed looking individuals I've ever seen in my life. It's boggles my mind. You should get into. You should start acting or something. I mean, at least then you have people like who's an act? Tom Cruise.
At least they're hot. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, your coworkers, which is what I call all Twitch streamers. Who's the one guy? Oh, he's the fucked Asmongold.
Asmongold.
I love this guy.
You know, he's the number one political commentator on this platform now. Like he's
political. Yeah, I thought it was like the Dungeons and Dragons.
No. That, but also in between Dungeons and Dragons, well, World of Warcraft. In between that, he like now for the entire day he just like watches Trump press briefings. He literally gets go look at his YouTube page. It's kind of awesome because he's dominating Ben Shapiro. Like
amazing.
If you look at his fucking YouTube page, he just sits there and watches Donald Trump and goes, "Yeah, that's based." And then he gets like 10 million views a week. It's amazing. I genuinely do love it. Like, I'm not even being sarcastic when I say like a super well-read conservative who's like trying to make logical arguments about why Palestinians need to be ethnically cleansed. And then this guy comes in and he's like, they're an inferior culture. What are you going to do? I don't care.
Amazing. Oh, this is amazing. Trump is 100% serious. 1 million views. So I tried Monster Hunter Wilds. Pronouns are dead. 1 million views. Pronouns are dead. 1 million views.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, no, but it's like, it's that. Like the greatest conservative mind right now, like the greatest conservative commentator right now is not like Ben Shapiro, is not Tucker Carlson, it's not Candace Owens, it's fucking Asmongold. And he has no real interest in this stuff whatsoever. He just kind of sits there and agrees, and they love it. And I love it too, because I think it's really funny that he is like now the largest conservative commentator. I mean, he's also the largest political commentator in general on this platform, but you know.
So they came for your crown.
Oh no, my crown is gone. I can't keep my head up, King. It's gone.
Who else is on here?
Not really anyone else on the top of the leaderboard. It's just me and Asmongold.
You and Asmongold?
Yeah.
First of all.
And on the left side, as a liberal, right? As a liberal. I'm the only liberal that is on the top 10.
I know, but look at the podcast charts. It's all like Candace Owens and who else is on there? It's like
Sean
Dave
Ryan. Sean Ryan.
I love.
That's my
Sean
favorite.
Ryan.
I love Sean Ryan so much because he's like, yeah, we're former CIA guys, and also we just suspiciously always arrive at the same conclusions that the current CIA arrives at. Like
he's great. He's great because someone will tell him something and be like, yeah, it was like it was like 30 Hajis, and I just fucking grenade after grenade after fucking gunshot after gunshot. And he just sits there and he's just like, that's powerful, man. This is the problem with you, Hasan, is you speak too much during your thing. What you got to do is you just got to have some crazy fucked up guy on, and you got to sit across from them and just go, damn. Like, you should just have liberals on, and like they're telling you about new pronouns they invented or whatever, or like new racial things that like are like, it's like not woke to be in a biracial relationship or whatever anymore. And you just got to go across and be like, biracial. You know, like just shit like that. When people talk about liberal Joe Rogan, that's what we need. We need, first of all, I need Joe Rogan just personally. I want to smell, because his musk must be crazy.
He's
like
got great nipples.
He does. Have you ever smelled anyone like famous and been like, what's that?
Not that I can think of. I have been around Joe Rogan. Like I've hung out with him many years ago when he was a liberal and loved the Young Turks. I don't know if you knew this. Oh yeah, no, he was a big like Anna Kasparian fan back when we were all together and friends, and we listened to him at the Improv where he did his stand up, and then after his stand up, we just like kind of sat around him for a couple hours, talked to one another about like mushrooms and shit like that. It was amazing. I was a big Joe Rogan fan back then.
Wow.
I mean, I still am. Still am.
I can tell. I know he's got a new interview with Musk on. Boy, to be in the room with those two giants. This is it's so crazy. To me, you know, I think what's so crazy is that like people talk about, you know, oh, Twitter isn't real, but Twitter is not only so real now, it runs the country. It's in a way that I'm like, this is undignified. Like it is. Wow. Could you imagine just one of those
dude,
things?
Can I imagine? I think about it all the time.
Dude, I could
with my tongue. I want to suck.
My God.
I want to suck his nipples and like suck a little bit of the HGH and TRT out of there.
What do you think would come out? Yeah, well, that's another thing, because I know that you recently got off gear.
Yes. I'm still on it. No,
You're
Anavar.
still on it?
I'm just cycling something else now. Anavar now.
Yeah, but this is what I wanted to ask: is Hegseth on gear?
Ooh, could be. Maybe a little tasteful TRT. Maybe because like Bongino, who is of course fellow podcaster to both of us, you know, our coworker, who now has been elevated to a position of, I'm not gonna say higher prominence, because I feel like podcaster is the highest stage of being, you know, a notable figure. But you know, he's a deputy assistant director of the FBI. He once famously blocked me because I asked him what his cycle was many years ago, and now I'm really afraid that he's gonna get me arrested. First
of all, that's called player hating. And second of all, I just got my, I don't know how much of this I actually want to show on screen, because I don't want any personal information here. I think this is good. I got my a FOIA back. I self-FOIA'd. I actually did it a few years ago and they never sent me anything. And then I did it again last year. They finally sent it. And it's completely, they're not releasing any of my FBI file to me. And so if you are watching this, Mr. Dan Bongino, give it to me. And it's for reasons of national security and a bunch of other reasons, which I think are bullshit.
Yeah, I never got my FOIA back, and I don't know. Maybe they sent it, and I got lost in the mail, but I've never gotten it back.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I am like.
And to be fair, let's just say I have had conversations with the FBI since then.
You ratted.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, it's me and Vosh. We work for the same.
I loved him. What, is he still around? I ended his career.
Know. I have no idea.
I ended his career. It was horrible. He ended it by replying to me. This is the thing. Only you can get away with. Anybody who else works in the industry, which is, of course, what I call what we do.
Yeah.
You can't interact with me because I'll ruin you. It's horrible. It's because it's people. They think.
Okay, I gotta play the fucking video now. I have to. It's one of my
play the video.
Brace, this is one of my favorite videos of all time, and I play it so much. But it's been a while since I've actually played it. And I love it, especially because I feel like it gets smaller and smaller every time I play it. Like, I don't know how the fuck you recorded this, but
this is before I knew how to record on my phone good.
Yeah. This is my favorite video of all time. And it's amazing because you played a prominent role in this.
Wait, is this guy seriously saying that I can't get laid? Incredible. I'll give you 5,000 if you can get Poontang before January 1st. Do you have any idea who the fuck you're talking to? When I got off Tinder because of the fucking quarantine, Tacoma wept. Even like ignoring the fact that I have a girlfriend, even if we're just talking like randos, I'm 2 hours away right now from being inside somebody else. This is one. I have two skills, and it's non-monogamy and speaking publicly. Okay, do some fucking research.
That's the best. Do some fucking research after he thoroughly dismantles your fucking pathetic argument. Okay,
do some fucking research.
Yeah.
Get in the archives.
I love how poetic he is.
I mean, notice how he didn't say ethical non-monogamy.
Yeah.
It's I'm 2 hours away from being inside of somebody right now. Yeah, me too. I can hit someone with a car, go right through them. This is great. That was amazing, and that was kind of it for the horse cock thing was. What am I talking about?
The horse cock is what got him.
The horse cock thing.
It was because it was AI porn. That's what it wasn't because it was lolly. It was
stealing from DeviantArt.
Yeah,
it's straight on DeviantArt. What is this stuff is crazy. This stuff is just totally bonkers. But it's like, I guess the funny thing is, it's like the way this administration feels. It's like if the equivalent like of a liberal administration had like him in the press office or whatever, or like Destiny as the press secretary.
Oh, dude,
I mean, it is just perverts and freaks and sicko. And the thing I don't like about it is all these people want to do who are in office right now is rip you off, lie to you, rape, steal from everybody. It's just, it drives me I hate these Republicans. I do hate them. And because they're fucking, I just, watching Jack Posobiec jiggle around, walking around the White House. He went to Europe with Hegseth, probably, again, in sort of Bakabazi role. It's just, it's so undignified. And what people think is the alternative to this is Hakeem Jeffries. It's never gonna happen. It's disgusting.
Well, Hakeem is Nancy Pelosi's Bachabazi, so
I know he is. And you know what? I love the lady. I love Pelosi because I used to live in this house. Her like son-in-law, like someone related to her closely, owned a crack house across the street from me, off of Utah Street in San Francisco, called the Snake Pit. And there would be ambulance outside of it every single night of people ODing, and it was like completely insane inside. And it was owned by the Pelosi family, which I was like, that's great. Like, of their vast financial holding down to the, but her husband is brain dead from getting hit, apparently. And so
wait, really?
That's the scuttlebutt. He's like, yeah.
I thought
totally
that
brain dead.
That's kind of sad. I feel bad. Like, I hate to see lovers' quarrels turning into such gross acts of violence.
I mean, he was drinking, and it's as somebody as a, recovery myself, I feel bad for him. But these people, I mean, is there gonna be a normal I like Rashida Tlaib, I like her, and I like Ilhan Omar, but all the rest of these people seem to me to be freaks of nature. And I'm just, I think that I think I should run for Senate. That's occurred to me. I think I should run for Senate.
We should just, all the podcasters should unite and run for office.
Exactly. I think it's worked for some people. There was one gun YouTuber who I hate. I hate all gun YouTubers.
The AK guy. The AK guy.
Yes, he ran for
something.
Office.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But he lost, I think.
Yeah, that was sad. I did a lot of straw donations to his campaign, like Dinesh D'Souza.
Me too. Oh, 200. What was it? 2,000 donkeys.
Yeah, Brandon Herrera. Oh, 2,000 mules. Yeah,
2,000 mules. Yeah, sorry, the Turk thing.
Yeah, I voted illegally quite a bit in his district, and Brandon Herrera still unfortunately lost. But better luck next time.
I love Herrera. That there's such a. They need to get I got Kash Patel's book last night. I'm gonna start reading it.
Wait, the children's one?
No, but the children's one. That's what it reminded me of. Is the children's book does have? He wrote 2 children's books. The sequel to his children's book says 2000 mules on the cover.
Wait, he made
like,
2? I didn't realize he had 2.
He made a sequel.
Yeah, it's incredible. The Plot Against the King. Here it is.
Patel is just
and he's a wizard in it. Like he put himself in there too.
He's in it too. I should read this too.
Yeah, you should probably. This is the one you should read. This is the real book.
Oh, he's incredible.
This is what I do kind of hate this. Like, I think that the old days of just like doing Clinton Foundation style schemes on both sides of the aisle are so gone. Like, it's like a dying art. It's lost now. Now you just got like cryptocurrency rug pullers running the country. Everything is devolved.
Yeah. It is. That's the thing, is like there's nobody. I mean, it's like the serious people in the room are like venture, or like actually not venture. Well, they are venture capitalists as well. But they're just like complete like slash and burn fucking private equity guys. And it's like, that's like the adults in the room right now. It is just so crazy. But like the thing is like, and this is what I keep thinking about, is there's a jealousy that I have. And I've talked about this on our show a bunch of times, but like, could you imagine if like Bernie Sanders won, and it would just be like, it would basically be the same thing as the Biden cabinet. I hate to say it. Like he would not bring in like young, insane people to be like, you're shut down, you're fired, we're cutting everything
put me
here.
Put me in charge of the press pool. Like I would love that.
And so I guess the good thing that like we can learn from this is, it's not that we have much place to put anything into practice, but like you can just do whatever you want. Like you don't have to like kowtow to whatever norms that there are. And so like I am fucking jealous at the end of the day that like Elon Musk's stupid little friends get to go through every federal agency and like, cut everything, because I want to do that with my stupid little friends and completely restructure society. And these people get to do it. And I don't think that they deserve to, because I'm like, you already are rich. I think I would have fun doing it, you know?
Yeah.
Firing every Marine out of here.
Yeah. Dude, can you imagine? No, dismantling U.S. aid. Like,
yeah. And we couldn't actually fire the Marines, because then they would rebel against us. So we'd have to just immediately start a war.
Yeah. Well,
but like get kind of some.
You just you got to run the officers program, but instead of like making them not woke, Mark Milley was already doing this for us. He was teaching them Mao Zedong thought.
Yeah.
The real spiritual nuclear atom bomb that was going to implode amongst American consciousness. He was already working. He was working in that direction. And then Trump came in, and now he's making him fucking read Kash Patel's children's books or something, which is.
I know. It's crazy. You see, they're going to bring the UFC into the FBI.
Yeah, I did. It's so awesome.
That's so great. That's two groups of people with Sean Strickland. Who's the guy who's like, fuck, that's Sean Strickland, right? He doesn't like Jews.
A lot of them don't like Jews.
But why? I mean, doesn't Ari Emanuel kind of own that thing?
Yeah.
They didn't like what's that TV show? It's that Entourage. They didn't like Entourage? They didn't like Entourage?
Okay. Also, Ari Emanuel also is I'm represented by WME. Just pointing that out there.
You are?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Then how can you say all those nasty things about him? I'm just kidding. I
do. I have more smoke for his brother than him even. But Ari Emanuel used to be he was more so a liberal Zionist. I don't know where he's at post October 7, but I mean, this doesn't absolve him of anything, obviously. But he's I did love Entourage, so.
Have you been following this Batar organization?
Oh my God, a little bit. They're
amazing.
Isn't like the main guy like a sexual harasser, abuser?
Listen, no, he is alleged by the New York Post to have been arrested for revenge porn. He's alleged by the New York Post, not by me or by Hasan. He's alleged by the New York Post to have done it. But I met the guy in a park. I'm just saying from my own experience, I met him in a park and he was filming a woman. And I said, you must cease doing that. That's fucking weird. And he kept filming her, and then he started filming me. And he kept asking about my dick and like all this kind of shit to me.
Wait, you were trying to see if you were circumcised?
Have you not seen the video?
No. Wait, there's a video of him like coming up to you and asking you about your dick?
Oh my god! I
link it in the Discord if you can.
Okay. Let me see if I think I can. It just might take me like a couple.
Oh wait, someone already found it. Never mind.
Angry little imp.
My penis is none of your business. I have an inch-long penis.
So why are you here for? You pro Hamas, or you just in the park, just accidentally marching with these idiots?
I love these guys.
Wait. Oh, he immediately he was like, "Oh, you're Jewish, so why are you with these guys?"
I wasn't with these guys. I was just in the park. But no, and he asked me. There's another one where he's like asking me if I'm a because he was so ugly. Oh my god, Hasan.
So good for you.
It's you've never seen a guy like this before. He was one of the craziest. I took a picture of him, and it was one of the most insane. I can find this. It's from May 1st of last year. So let me scroll up.
He looks like a Harkonnen.
He does. It is. But that doesn't even do it justice.
This photo literally makes him look like that photo that everybody always posts to say I look like from like the 90s or 80s or whatever with the tiny head. What's the fucking thing with the tiny head?
You look like
a Goomba. Well, they just post that to say like I have a small head, even though that's considered a delicacy in East Asian countries.
Look at this picture I took of it. It was one of the craziest.
Oh, the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
It's crazy. I mean, can you believe it?
Wait, let me see.
You know, it's
that's amazing.
He looks like
wait, he's that much shorter than you? Wait, what?
No, I did that from above because he was blocking his face.
Okay.
He was he you know what he looked like, and I don't mean any disrespect to anybody. But he kind of looks like Bruce Willis, like after.
Oh Jesus!
The diagnosis, you know, like
that's crazy. I disavow what
you I mean, I don't think that's a good thing to say, and I disavow that. But
you can't say that and then disavow it. Praise.
I mean, I don't stand by that. You might say or whatever. Like that's just what I read. Someone else said that he looked like that, and I just thought that was an interesting thing. It was an interesting comment because I like to see all sides.
But you disagree with it. You're bringing up.
He kind of. Well, I just thought it was interesting to look like because he kind of looks like if like one of those directors that was exploiting Bruce Willis left him out in the sun for like 24 hours.
Jesus
straight.
Christ!
Got him
okay,
that's what he looked like to me.
Let's move on from this before.
And I thought he was rude, and he was filming this woman in a park. And first of all, that's not how you approach women in a park. You approach women in a park is you stand right in front of them and kind of look down like this, and then wait for them to say something. But he was filming these women in the park. I thought he was a nut, and he starts going crazy on me. And then it turns out he was executive director of Batar, and he's hanging out with fucking, what's his name? Fetterman.
Oh, that's just like a bald allegiance, I think. That's what it is.
Got a group chat.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, if I ever go bald, man, I'm fucked because of your fucking country.
Oh, yeah, you can't go to Turkey.
No,
that's true.
I'll have to do it. I'll have to go to Brazil.
Do they do that in Brazil? Are they good at that in Brazil?
Yeah, but yeah, no, they're not good at it. That's the problem. They put your pubes on.
Oh no.
I haven't figured out how to do hair transplant from there yet. They just do your pubes. So I'd have like I guess it would give me kind of a zoomer look. But
that's good. You can get the broccoli cut.
I made the broccoli cut.
Yeah.
I should do that, huh? 35 years young?
That's the that's the wave. That's the meta.
What is up with the freckle?
Why are you a freckle racist? That's what he said, dude. That's his big own.
Are you anti-freckle?
I don't know that, but you got over dinner.
Are you a freckle racist?
I don't know what.
Dude, I love the like New York lib attitude that these like ultra Zionist terrorists have, where it's like, oh, are you a racist about freckles? Just say a slur, dude. What are you doing? Like, what the fuck?
I'm not a freckle racist. I'm a freckle realist.
Yeah.
And the reality is I just hadn't seen an individual look like that before, man. I have a bit of a freak connoisseur, and I walk around the streets. I look around, and this guy just was an extraordinary looking individual. It turns out he's head of a Zionist organization that allied with Mussolini. the Italian dictator.
That's
And I
crazy.
thought, that is just crazy. That is just out of. And then they had to kick him out. They under his aegis, they like hacked a bunch of like SJP websites and like put up whatever pro-Israel bullshit. And now
Epic
like they're
own.
like now much like Hamas, Buttar has been forced to disavow and say that he has nothing to do with them anymore, even though there's like 5 million pictures of him. And like, you know, but I guess they didn't like the smoke. And now he's put up. Oh my God, this is you're never gonna believe this. This is not the kind of thing. Is there a HasanAbi.com or whatever?
No, but there's a
website?
hamasabi.com, or used to be. I remember the sex pest we were talking about earlier. The as a liberal, of course, we're aligned with Destiny.
We fuck with them.
Yeah, I fuck with him heavy.
We love him.
Yeah, him and his second in command, who famously also created with money from P. Diddy, Tiny Chat, which was I think under investigation by the FBI for being a network for pedophiles to use. Basically, him and his second in command, who's like a 60-year-old guy that he has a podcast with, Dan Saltman. They did this like campaign, a Betar style campaign, as a matter of fact, on one individual, me, since October 10th, I think. They basically like set up a website and a hub, and I think there's like new versions of it now where they just every other week they'll say like, I'm not moderating my chat for anti-Semitism or something. I don't know. It is pretty funny to have the ADL come after me for this.
He moderates it. He turns it all the way up.
Yeah.
It's through the roof. The gain is through the roof. No, it's. Are either of those guys Jewish?
Dan is, but they're both anti-Semitic.
Yeah. That wouldn't surprise you. You should get man. I need like a second in command, like a guy. I'm like, fucking make me a website, dude.
Yeah.
These guys are like 40, no? Like they're like in advanced age, children.
Ask that question again. Sorry.
These guys are like of an advanced age with children and stuff, and like adults. They're adults.
I don't know. I mean, Destiny does have a kid, and I think he's like also in his.
I'm already
Discord.
donating to the GoFundMe.
Yeah, I think I don't know how old he is, but I mean, he definitely has a kid. The other one probably also has kids, but I don't fucking know. I don't know enough about the other one.
Ooh,
I don't usually spend a lot of time thinking about whatever the fuck's going on in their personal lives until I see a Daily Mail article. Wait, I have to show you this. This is really funny.
You gotta understand. For me, Hasan, this is like coming to the zoo, and I'm looking at the animals.
Hold on. I got you. Hold on. This is a very funny title for for an article. YouTuber Destiny 36 is accused of revenge porn by 4 women, but claims he's the victim of the leak.
That's how you do it. Flip them.
Yeah, and apparently what ended up happening is he sent and of course it's gross. Like they immediately post like photos of the victims in the situation because they're a gross website. Daily Mail is, but apparently he just sent them like a manifesto of how epically owned, how he was the actual victim or something. Let me see if I can find it. But there's a line in it where I think they, Bonalden allegedly tried to backtrack and deny his guilt, telling his followers that the leak happened without my knowledge, consent, or authorization, after openly admitting to it. But I think there's a point in the article where he basically sends this like manifesto to them. And then they didn't even read it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Bono responded to dailymail.com's request for comment with a link to a 4,491 word public Google document posted last week.
That boy's tweaking.
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of meth. And sometimes when I see some of these guys, I don't anymore. Been clean for a decade. But sometimes when I see some of these guys on their little thing, I'm like, you're tweaked. Like Elon, I think is tweaked.
But Elon is on I feel like, isn't it ketamine for Elon? I feel like, allegedly.
Yeah, but I think he's tweaked too. Cause like when he was on stage, I mean, I've done ketamine one time.
When he was like at the inauguration before the Sig Heil, he was like this.
Yeah. The Sieg Heil is, so we can, because you and I do that, but like it's public. We can do that. That's the Zeke Heil thing is amazing. Because remember they did. I'm Jewish, and it's okay. I'm not only Jewish, but we've hooked up. And he did not complain. Well, he complained, but he was just like, "Well, I was inattentive."
But it wasn't because of your Jewish background.
No. Well, he did call me withholding. But you remember? Because remember, Hasan, when they tried to do this was like
the OK sign. It was the Nazi
and all
sign.
the people doing that were Nazis. Like it was, but they're like, oh, but it's just the OK sign. They're running that back, but now it's now because their leader is so fucking stupid and like I'm the 56-year-old troll they're just doing that with the Zeke Heil now. Not that I almost tried to do it, but which we can legally do, my people. No. But we don't on the stream.
Yeah, no. Well, is my former podcast co-host. Apparently, he throws it up quite a bit recently. He's been throwing it up in the midst of his endless battle. No, Ethan.
That guy's Jewish?
Ethan Klein? Yeah, he's Jewish.
I didn't know he still looked like that.
What?
But what does that even mean? I just didn't know he looked like that. We kind of got over a while
It's so funny. Every time he's like clipped me because of the many troublemakers that I have on my stream. It's always like Felix or fucking Noah or Alex. It's just like I'm always getting in trouble, and it's getting clipped.
Well, Alex was it's tricky with Alex because she was briefly in Hamas. The civilian.
The Politburo.
I'm just kidding. The Politburo. It was a political.
No,
I'm just playing around.
He won't recognize that the people next to me are. He won't recognize that the people next to me are Jewish, and he will just like go on this anti-Semitic crusade. And only when
how could you not recognize that? What's this look like? I could stick my tongue in it.
See, now you're gonna. Okay, now he's gonna say you're my human shield. Yeah,
human shield. Oh my God! From what? Him? What's he gonna eat me to death?
Yeah, he said he says that they're tokens. Like you guys are tokens of mine.
They're tokens. No. What you don't understand, my brother, is we control this whole industry top to bottom.
Yeah.
And if anything, Hasan is our Turkish token. Maybe we're using Hasan.
Yeah. I'm the golem. I'm the golem.
The golem. We need a golem.
You have one. It's
Fetterman's the closest we have. The Fetterman's the closest we have. Have you seen? I know I'm talking about women a lot. The woman, I can't remember her name. She's like the one that they put in charge of the declassification. She pretended to be Jewish. Turns out she's descended from a soldier in the Wehrmacht who were kind of on the opposite side of that whole thing. But she's like a congresswoman from Florida.
Wait, Anna are you talking about Pam Bondi, the Attorney General?
No. Paulina Luna. And she's also not Latinx. It's like
she pretended to be Jewish?
Yes, and also pretended to be Latinx.
Anna Paulina Luna.
Anna Paulina Luna. She is. I mean, we're talking Congress people here. She is. Wow. Can you believe it? Look at her. Well, that's the Wikipedia photo, but
yeah.
Candid, she's gorgeous.
I didn't even know anything about her until I saw her pop off and get mad about the lack of information that came out